Today we're going to cover in more detail how to use your imagination, which is God, to get anything you want by Neville Goddard. So in this video I'm going to quote two of his lectures called Biblical Language and Law Storytelling Picture Taking. While you are here, you can test your creative power based upon your desires. You may desire something you think you cannot afford, or you don't have the time or the know-how to enjoy it. You can think of 1,000 reasons why its possession is impossible. But hearing that imagination creates reality, you can imagine you have it. But to imagine is not enough. You must have faith enough in your imaginal act to believe in its reality. When you imagine you are the person you want to be, you must firmly believe you already are it. Then wait in faith for your assumption to appear in your world. For that imaginal act has its own appointed hour. It will ripen and flower. If it seems long to you, wait, for it's sure and will not be late. The link between your imaginal act and its fulfillment is your faith, which is nothing more than your subjective appropriation of your objective hope. Hoping your desire, subjectively appropriated, is true. Faith is your link to its objectivity. Act as God and simply let it be so. God said, "Let there be light, let the sun appear, let the moon appear." After his imaginal act, God let everything appear, sustaining it by faith, knowing that without faith it's impossible to bring it to pass. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. If you have faith in the reality of your imaginal act, it must objectify itself in your world. So when you imagine that you already have that which you desire, the key to objectifying that imaginal act on the screen of space is to know that it is already so. In other words, it's not enough to just imagine having something while continuing to remain in the awareness of the absence of the thing imagined. Remember, it is your awareness or imagination that creates your reality. So the key here is to persist in the awareness of already being or having that which you desire to be or to have. So whatever you imagine, when you imagine that you already have it, by conceiving an imaginal scene which implies the fulfillment of your desire, you must firmly believe that you are already that which you desire to be right now, or that which you have imagined yourself to be. This is how you make that which is invisible visible to you. So what usually happens is that we imagine that we have something based on the external facts or based on what our reason and senses confirm. But it is not the external facts that make it so, but rather it is our belief in them which makes them the objective fact in our reality. A true judgment need not conform to the external facts to which it relates. Truth depends upon the intensity of imagining and not upon the facts. Neville Goddard. So it is the intensity of imagining that makes it true. And the intensity of imagining depends on how natural your desire feels to you, or on how firmly you believe it is already true. Now, what if my senses and my reason are telling me something that I don't like? Knowing that all things already exist and are possible to my imagination, which is God, can I not imagine that I already have something, or something that my senses and reason deny, while knowing that it is already true? Can I not imagine seeing or hearing something that my senses deny, while believing in its reality? And if I do, my imaginal act will become an objective fact to my senses. Now, in order to really understand Scripture, you must have some knowledge of the experiences recorded there, because they are not of this world. The Bible speaks of the new man who is in you. It is that man of spirit that I am appealing to, as he can believe in the reality of an imaginal act. The outer you knows a reality which it can touch, see, and hear. Its belief is based upon the evidence of its five senses and reason. But I am appealing to the Christ in you, who is your own wonderful human imagination, and one with the Lord. In the 14th chapter of Jeremiah, you will find these words: "Though, Lord, are in the midst of us, we are called by thy name, leave us not. The Lord's name is I am. How could anyone exist and have the name I am taken from him? If you couldn't say I am, you would cease to be. You could suffer from total amnesia and not know where you are, who you are, or what you are. But because God remains faithful to his pledge, you can't stop knowing that you are." So it is this awareness of being who is God. Whatever you desire, believe that you have received it, and you will. Mark 11:24. In other words, whatever you desire, become aware of already having that which you desire, or persist in the awareness of already having it, and you will have it. How would you feel if you have already received what you want? You would feel relieved that you have it now. This is the feeling that you are looking for, the feeling of relief. So persist in the awareness or the feeling of relief of already being that which you desire to be, and you will. Well, do you know the word to pray, both in Hebrew and in Greek? If you look it up in your biblical concordance, it's defined as motion towards, accession to, nearness at, or in the vicinity of. That's what it is. So I stand here, and now it's motion towards ownership of what I want. Well, if I could really get near enough so that I could get accession to, or so that I could feel the reality of what I want, I would sleep this night in the consciousness of having the thing desired, wouldn't I? As I get nearer and nearer and nearer to it, it's like a motion within one's being. If this night I would go to New York City, and time would not allow it, my commitments would not allow it, or thousands of things could stand in the way, but I still want to go, what I should do, I should this night assume as I go to bed, assume that I am sleeping in my hotel room in New York City, and then view the world from New York City. Just see the world as I would see it were it true. When I think of Los Angeles, I can't see it around me here, as I would tonight when I sleep. I must see it 3,000 miles to the west of me. Well, if I fall asleep in that state, I have prayed, and that state will be objectified on the screen of space.